Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about jeans trends for 2026 and what that actually means in real life. Because when it comes to denim, trends don't usually change overnight. They shift slowly, one detail at a time. Through runway collections, celebrity styling, and the way people actually dress day to day. So this isn't going to be a buy this, throw this out kind of video. It's more about understanding where denim is heading, which silhouettes and details are becoming more relevant, and which ones are simply holding their ground. We've seen denim go through a lot in the past few years: extreme bagginess, heavy distressing, very specific Y2K moments. And now, heading into 2026, things are starting to feel more balanced, cleaner in some ways, more expressive in others. In this video, I'll walk you through the key denim directions we're seeing for 2026, based on recent runway shows, resort collections, and how celebrities are actually wearing their jeans right now. Some of these are clear trends, some are evolutions, and some are silhouettes that are simply too good to disappear. Think of this as a guide to what feels current, what feels wearable, and what's worth paying attention to if you're thinking about your wardrobe for the next couple of years. So let's get into it. Let's start with a denim trend that feels very quiet, but actually very telling for 2026. Rinse wash jeans. These are the deep, clean, almost inky-looking jeans. No heavy fading, no distressing, nothing trying too hard. They feel simple, polished, and very intentional. We've been seeing rinse-wash denim come up a lot in Resort 2026 collections, especially from brands that focus on elevated everyday dressing. And that's always a good sign, because resort collections usually show us what people will actually wear in real life, not just on a runway. On the celebrity side, Kendall Jenner is probably the clearest reference. She's been wearing rinse-wash jeans repeatedly in very casual, off-duty moments. Coffee runs, airport looks, everyday outfits. When denim shows up like that, quietly and consistently, it usually means it's becoming the new default. What I love about rinse-wash jeans is how neutral they feel without being boring. They don't force a vibe. They work with almost everything, and somehow always look right. They also photograph beautifully and don't date an outfit quickly, which makes them feel very future-proof. Okay, we need to talk about slim fit and skinny jeans, because yes, they're coming back, but not in the way we remember. Kate Moss is the perfect example. She never really gave them up. While trends came and went, she kept wearing slim, narrow denim in a very natural, very unforced way. And when something survives that long without trying to be trendy, it usually means it has real staying power. Now we're starting to see that same silhouette show up again, but on a new generation. Bella Hadid has been wearing slimmer jeans more and more, and not in a throwback way. It feels current, styled in a very modern, balanced way. On the runway, the timing lines up perfectly. We saw slim denim silhouettes on the Isabel Marant Fall-Winter 2025 runway, and since then they've continued to reappear. Celine Summer 2026 really confirmed it. Very clean, very sharp, very intentional. And Brandon Maxwell Spring 2026 pushed the idea further with a more polished, refined take. After years of extreme volume, fashion is slowly recalibrating. Things are pulling in again, not dramatically but deliberately. And slim fit denim fits perfectly into that shift. So yes, slim and skinny adjacent jeans are coming back for 2026, but this time they feel calmer and cleaner. Less about nostalgia, more about proportion. Cuffed jeans are one of those trends that feel very subtle at first, and then suddenly you realize they're everywhere. What's interesting about cuffed denim for 2026 is that it doesn't feel like a big statement. It feels practical, almost accidental, like something you do without overthinking it, and that's exactly why it works. I think these jeans make sense right now because they add character without changing the jeans themselves. You're not buying into a new silhouette. You're just shifting how denim is worn. It gives a familiar pair of jeans a slightly different energy, a little more lived in, a little more personal. There's also something very 90s about cuffed denim, but in a quiet way. Not nostalgic, not costume-like, just familiar, comfortable, real. For 2026, cuffed jeans feel like one of those styling details that will quietly define the year. Not loud enough to feel trendy, but noticeable enough to feel current. Pleated jeans are another quiet shift we're seeing for 2026, and they fit perfectly into this move toward more polished, intentional denim. They add structure without feeling stiff. There's a subtle tailoring influence there, which makes even very casual outfits feel a bit more considered. But the key thing is that the pleats are never dramatic. They're soft, relaxed, and very wearable. What I like about pleated jeans is that they change the feel of denim without changing the category completely. They still feel like jeans, just slightly elevated, a little sharper, a little more grown up. Ripped jeans are showing up again for 2026, but in a much more controlled and thoughtful way. On the spring 2026 runways, brands like Brandon Maxwell and Area brought back ripped denim in a refined way. Cleaner cuts, strategic placement, and silhouettes that still feel polished. Coperni pushed this idea further with a different approach. Instead of the usual horizontal tiers, we're seeing more vertical cuts, longer openings that change the way the denim falls and moves. It feels sharper, more modern, and much less nostalgic than classic ripped jeans. And when you look at celebrities, Gigi Hadid is a great example. She's been wearing these jeans consistently for years, long before they were back. The way she wears them has always felt current, which is usually a sign that a style is evolving rather than disappearing. So, for 2026, ripped jeans feel less about attitude and more about design. It's not the destruction that matters anymore, but the way the denim is opened up and reshaped. That subtle shift is what brings them back into relevance. Textured jeans are one of the most interesting denim shifts we're seeing for 2026, because they completely change how we think about what jeans are supposed to look like. We're seeing this show up in different ways on the runway. Some designers are working with subtle raised patterns, almost like embossed denim. Others are layering fabrics, mixing finishes, or creating a patchwork effect that feels intentional but still wearable. The jeans don't just sit there, they do something visually. What I like about textured denim is that it adds interest without relying on obvious trends, like distressing or extreme silhouettes. The shape can stay relatively classic, but the surface tells a different story. It feels richer, more expressive, and a little unexpected. There's also something very future-facing about this trend. It feels like denim evolving rather than recycling itself. Instead of repeating the same washes and cuts, texture gives designers room to experiment while still staying within the category of jeans. This next trend isn't really about jeans changing, it's about what we're wearing on top of them. For 2026, we're seeing jeans paired with dressy pieces that feel more dramatic and fluid. Things like cape-style tops, long draped layers, or dress-like pieces that are opened up in the front and worn over denim. It's not about wearing an actual dress instead of jeans. It's about letting that dressy shape coexist with them. On the runway, this looks especially striking. You see jeans grounded and simple, while the top creates movement, fabric flowing as the model walks, layers opening and closing, silhouettes that feel almost theatrical when paired with something as everyday as denim. What's interesting is that these tops would normally belong in a much more formal category, but once they're styled with jeans, they feel relaxed, less precious, more wearable. The contrast does all the work. I really like this direction because it changes the role of denim without asking you to give it up. Jeans become the anchor of the look. They keep everything grounded while the top brings in drama, softness, or elegance. This year, we're seeing a much bigger focus on colored denim, especially in very classic neutral shades, black, white, and gray. And this isn't just a street-style thing. It showed up very clearly on the Coach and Celine Spring 2026 runways, which really confirms that this is a direction designers are taking seriously. Black denim feels especially strong right now. It gives jeans a sharper, more composed edge. White and off-white denim is also having a moment, but in a much calmer way than before. Gray sits right between black and blue, and that in-between quality makes it feel very modern. What I really like about this shift toward colored denim is how it changes the role of jeans. Denim stops being the obvious casual element in an outfit and starts behaving more like a foundational piece, closer to tailored trousers and how it's styled. For 2026, this feels like a natural evolution. Denim isn't just about wash anymore, it's about tone. And these quieter colors give jeans a new kind of flexibility that feels very right for where fashion is heading. Low-rise baggy jeans are one of those trends that sound more dramatic than they actually feel in real life. For 2026, they're not about shock value or early 2000s nostalgia. They're about proportion. We saw this silhouette clearly on the Coach and Stella McCartney Spring 2026 runways. The jeans sat lower, yes, but the overall feeling was relaxed and fluid, not tight or exposing. The volume does most of the work here. The looseness softens the low-rise and makes it feel modern rather than throwback. On the celebrity side, Hailey Bieber is probably the most consistent reference. She's been wearing low-rise, baggy jeans for years now, during the day, at night, styled casually or more dressed up. And the way she wears them never feels costumey. They just feel natural to her, which is usually the biggest sign that a silhouette is settling in, rather than just passing through. What's important with this trend is that it's the combination that matters. Low-rise on its own can feel extreme. Baggy on its own feels familiar. Together, they balance each other out. The result is a silhouette that feels effortless, slightly undone, and very current. For 2026, low-rise baggy jeans don't feel like a comeback. They feel like an evolution. Less about recreating a specific era, more about playing with ease and proportion in a way that feels relaxed and wearable. Straight-fit jeans aren't a 2026 trend, and that's exactly why they need to be mentioned. They've reached that point where they're no longer part of the trend cycle. They're just there, holding their ground quietly while everything else shifts around them. We're still seeing straight-fit jeans worn constantly by celebrities like Kendall Jenner, Jennifer Lawrence, Dua Lipa, and Taylor Russell. And what's interesting is that they're not wearing them to make a statement. They're wearing them because they work. Day-to-day, off-duty, dressed up, dressed down, straight jeans just fit into real life. That's the power of this silhouette. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't try to define an era. It adapts. In a year where we're talking about low-rise baggy jeans, textured denim, pleats, color shifts, straight-fit jeans act as the anchor. They balance out the more directional trends and make everything feel wearable. So while straight jeans might not be the headline for 2026, they're still the backbone. The reliable option that keeps showing up season after season without feeling tired. And honestly, that kind of longevity is its own trend. So overall, denim in 2026 feels less about one big trend and more about choice. Some silhouettes are shifting, some details are evolving, and some styles are simply staying because they work. What matters most is how jeans fit into real life, how they move, how they're styled, and how long they actually last in your wardrobe. It's a much calmer, more flexible moment for denim. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fashion breakdowns and style guides. And let me know in the comments which jeans trend you're loving right now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.